Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode on Omnifactory. Now, I have a few things I would like to get done today, like normal, but this one's going to be a little different. We're going to need a bit of obsidian, because I'm noticing some of the recipes, like this energetic gold that it wants, or energetic alloy that it wants us to make. Well, there's only one way to make it, and this is a little bit tricky without glowstone. So I've been kind of curious also how the nether looks in here. And I really have not had a chance to really take a look and see what it looks like. And we're going to get some better armor, of course. And this is not how you make a flint and steel. That's not ever a good way of starting it off. It's probably flint and steel nugget. Okay. Not that big of a deal. We have a bit of steel. I think we'll be fine. And I kind of want to fix a few things with the way our system is set up. There we go. Got our flint and steel. And it doesn't speak really anything about the nether. So we're going to go put the door, or the gateway, a little further back. Because I do not like that whooshing sound all the time. Now, since most of these are probably going to get torn down, we can go right here. It's fine. So, I don't know if this is going to work. Hopefully it will. If it doesn't, well, we'll figure out something. Take our stuff. But yeah, I've been kind of curious on what this is going to look like for a while, and I just have not taken the time to really explore. Now, let's see if this is going to work, because some packs it is disabled and wants us to figure out a different way. Oh no, it is disabled. So, that is one reason why I have not done that. I've been kind of just saving that for a situation like that. We have to figure out how to get glowstone. Glowstone is craftable, but it's a little more difficult. So, this part, if you look at it, there's let's see. You can get it from witches and phosphorus dust. Phosphorus dust and gold. That is one way of doing it. And I think that's actually one of the only ways of doing it. We do not have a ore washer. So that would probably be one of the next things. But before we get into all that, there's one other problem we're having. This right here. Power. Right now it's completely charged. Well, let's get some aluminum. And I think I put it all up in here because I was running some more through. And let's just take 5 pieces. Stick it in here. And it should start pulling out of here. I did actually convert another one of these over to a steam. And you see it just took out everything. And it should start draining. Yeah, you see how fast it's draining. And I don't even think it's gotten through its first iteration of it. Nope. And yeah, you can see how fast it's just draining power. So if I try to run anything else, well, it's going to tank it. And that's not what we wanted. Look at this. We already have pretty much half a battery used, and it's only 2 items. And it's not even completely through. So we're going to have to figure out a better form of pretty much all of our stuff. One thing I was thinking of doing is using a little trick right here. And using snad. It's going to be a little weird. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be pretty strange for what we're going to have. But I do have, not this one, this section right down here. That is not being used right now. And until we get a better base area, which I was planning on doing today. But I'm realizing how much power is needed. And this will be our area. We will take this over. Knock this one, and this one down. And we'll go from there. And it'll be a little bit of good exploration. But let's go ahead and see what we're going to need. So, sugarcane, which we know how to get, can be used to make biomass. Biomass, if we look at the uses for it, well, if we put it through a distillery, just a simple distillery, we get ethanol. Now, ethanol can be used in a diesel generator, and it could 1 millibucket can burn for 0.3 seconds. So from 1,000 buckets, we get 700. So that would be 350 seconds, so roughly about 5 minutes per bucket. And that's actually a lot of power. And really, this does not take very long because each one of these is 100. So we might be able to get away with a few things. So we're going to need a brewing machine with a infinite water supply. And then we're going to need a distillery with a chipset of 0. And then we're going to need a diesel generator. And you can get these in LV. They're not too complicated. It's just going to be a lot of steel gears, electric motors, and a lot of chips. And it doesn't look like it's going to be too hard. But what we're going to use is SNAD and pretty much the same setup I have over there to collect it, which I need to start doing automatically. I went the wrong way. Where it will grow up if I break those. You see it's just growing almost instantaneously. And there we go. We already have enough to make a bucket. And yeah, so that is actually what I plan on doing today. We're just going to need a few things. So, and I'm hoping to also get into making something better for refined storage because I would love to get a storage reader or external storage. I think that's what it's called. Storage bus. There we go. But that's going to need an electric pump and one of these ME interfaces. The ME interfaces needs machine. Well, actually, that's not too bad. Except for right here. These right here, the printed silicone or printed logic, actually any of the printed, is kind of a pain because of this right here. We're going to have to get into some precision lasers. And precision lasers, you can see that's an MV tier. So we're going to need more power just to do this. And it should not be too bad. I say that, and I'm kind of hesitant. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Because I think we have an autoclave. Yeah, we have an autoclave. So we could get those, but the MV laser engraver thing, yeah, we're not going to be able to do right now. So I went out, collected a bit more sand. I should have enough for a few because SNAD is actually a very expensive recipe. It is 162 blocks of sand. So I have enough to make a few. Not very many. We're just going to put that in there. So, just in case you guys are actually kind of curious on why I haven't been to Nether, that's why. So, let's go ahead and get everything set up. So, I'm going to get everything crafted, and I'd love a crafting grid, but that's not going to happen right now because of the same reason. And, yeah, be back in just a moment. Alright, everybody, we're going to try something a little different. We're going to actually use the basic assembler. I mean, we made this a few episodes ago, and we really haven't used it. And I'm kind of curious on how well this works. And yeah, it's not too bad. It's using a few less pieces. Because to make this, it's this complicated recipe or that. So that was a lot easier. Now, if you saw in the recipes, we need blaze rods. Well, there's actually kind of a sneaky way of getting them. Not really sneaky, but it's actually turning the brewing stands into blaze rods. So that actually is not a problem with us because we have 5 of them sitting here. We don't need that many. I mean, there we go. Pretty easy. Pretty easy. Let's see. Can we make the first one? Oh, look, we can. The basic brewery, the distillery, and the only thing left is this right here, which we're missing quite a few pieces, but it's not that bad. So you get a couple wrought iron rods and plates and everything else. I already have everything else made up in here. Oh, that was a quest. So go ahead and get the rest of this stuff made up. And I was just showing you guys me using that. So that's 2 quests done. They're over here. That's why I didn't see them. Brewery and I don't need to stink tower. Okay. So I kind of jumped a little bit, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and get into that. And it does want us to make ethanol. So, yeah, so that's not too bad. And it also wants us to make sulfuric acid. Well, we'll see where we go with this. So let me go ahead and get the rest of this made up real quick. It shouldn't take me too much longer. And yeah. All right, the last big piece right here are the diesel generator. There we go. I don't know if that's a quest yet or not, but hey, why not? All right, so we're going to set this down here, which we got plenty of room. Just have to figure out how we're going to run our cables. And this could actually be just a power gen area over here, which would be pretty good. I mean, we're going to have to kind of redo this a little bit, but it shouldn't be too bad. We will have to get power down here, so that's going to take a lot of wiring. Let's go ahead and get everything set up. So we want to turn this into biodiesel or biomass. Biomass is in the brewing machine, and then we take the biomass and we're going to take that and turn it into a distillery. So that's not too bad. Yeah, so it's just real easy actually. You know, this is the most expensive recipe I've ever seen for an ender pearl. We got some electrical steel, got some hardened glass, and we got our electric steel plates. So let's go put some of this away. I was busy and I started thinking about it. I kind of want to do something a little different. And I want to have like a little buffer in it. And I believe, yeah, that is the recipe for that. So I want to make one of these tanks. Well, these tanks require these, which is not too bad. Just a block of redstone apiece. So that's quite a bit. That is quite a bit. We're not even going to joke about that. And it shouldn't be too bad, but it's just like, why? There we go. That's 36 redstone away. And put that in there and that. That should start working. Yeah. So the only thing else we're going to need is some of these copper plates. Now, I don't think we actually have any more copper plates available. And my inventory is a mess. Like always, it just stays that way. But yeah, this is a bit expensive. Now, another thing I'm going to be doing is actually making a range or let's see, what's it called? Ranged or absorber vacuum. Keyword vacuum. A vacuum chest, which is not too bad. It just requires some pulsating steel liquid, and yeah. So it's not the cheapest in the world, but it's not the worst. And this is actually my first tank, and I think I have everything. Just have to make one of you. And last but not least, one of you. There we go. So this is going to be kind of like a little buffer. And I didn't build it down as far as I did because each one of these is 8 iron ingots, and that's a lot of iron. So we're going to have a little buffer here. You can see I already tested a little bit, and I have a infinite water source underneath this. And this is going to be the output. So, only thing else we need to make is a quick chipset, which the chipsets aren't bad. They're just not what I expected. Alright, so make one is actually pretty simple. We just do that. Integrated circuit board, and I actually had an extra chip and I didn't realize it. But we can use that primitive one for later. So, do we have everything we need? Just about. Pulsating iron is really all it is taking this uranite and we resmelt it over here. And you get this right here, pulsating dust. And now I want to get a couple of these just because it makes it a little bit easier. And then we just take a bit of iron. It's the same old recipe, just kind of tweaked a little bit. And there we go. We got our pulsating iron. Now that's going to come in handy in just a minute, especially when we're transferring items around. Now, I don't think there's any other sneaky way of getting this. Just a diamond and pulsating iron. Now, where is my clave at? That is going to be a little bit more tricky than what I thought, because I have to get the fluid over there, and we don't have reservoirs or anything. I think you can use a tank as a bucket. I'm not quite for sure. Or we can just switch these out. That should be easier. So that won't be too bad, I think. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. I'm getting tired of using that type of power. So all we were needing... Oh, really? That's about it. I guess throw a stack in here and see what it does. Now, going to have this on extract. And this is going to be on insert. Should be putting it in there. Let's put our chipset in there. And it takes quite a bit to make a 700. But we should be good to go. Alright, so before this actually gets started, it has been tanking through the power a little bit. So this is why I'm glad I'm getting to a better form of power, because you look at this. It's already drained quite a few batteries, plus all the crafting we did. Let's go ahead and go down here, and we should see this thing start going any minute now. This thing's a little slow, but it's not too bad. And we are filling up on water, so that's a good sign. So once this hits 1,000, there we go. And it should... Wow, this does take a long time. And there, and it does not say anything on power. So it used just 6 millibuckets out of that. So we're going to have to hook this thing down here. Should not be a problem. Really, all we have to do is, since I have a few extra wires... Actually, I was making some more. And I'm just going to have to kind of work with that. So it's 24 for 3 of them. So that's not that big of a deal. And this thing is slowly filling back up on power, if I'm not draining it completely. So once this gets done, we'll move it all down there and call it good. And that'll be actually a bit of power. And then we'll set up the rest for the sugarcane and everything else. All right, everybody. We got everything working. I had to set this up a little different. See, the CEF, the one that holds all the batteries. Well, yeah, I kind of end up making 2 of these. And the reason I made this one here is a CEU. A CEU takes Greg Tech energy and converts it to RF, and this takes RF and converts it to Greg Tech energy. So I could really just take out one of these, but I want to keep both. I plan on actually moving this down a little bit, and we can actually have 2 sets of batteries, and we can run all of our machines that are going to take RF off of this. But it is working. It's actually completely full, and let's check to see how well it handles. Well, let's see. How much oil or how much fuel do we have? Not very much. See, that's one thing. It's really, really slow. So it will build up over time because this stopped and everything. But I think I might want another basic brewer down here to kind of help with the fact that it's not being able to keep up. Now, I'm going to have to move all of this right here. I'm thinking of just having a simple breaker right there. So I'm going to need a few things real quick. Oh, that was a quest. That was interesting. Okay, so what we could do, fluid extractor assembler. So let's pick up this for a moment. And let's get the autoclave. I think that's the one that we're supposed to use because I want to get this pulsating crystal, which, yep, it is in the autoclave. Now, I believe by default, this is set up to, well, not default, but I have it set up to where it will extract over here. And we could basically put down the autoclave right here. And that should move things over. If not, I think I'd see either the wrench or the screwdriver. All right, there we go. We should be able to export into it, which I believe is orange. So we can go and turn off that. That's no big deal. Autoclave can sit right here. And auto import, which I really wish there was an easier way to configure this. All right, we just throw the diamond in. I kind of did some little rewiring, no big deal. So there we go, pulsating crystal. Now the rest of this should actually be pretty easy. All we need is some chest and some iron. And I think I have both in a decent abundance. And iron. Alright. So that should be all I need. And there we go. We got the vacuum chest, which is going to come in quite handy. Now, to set up the rest, I don't think there's much else I need. And this will probably be the wrapping up point. If I can remember where I put my buckets. Alright, to get the item conduits I was needing, I actually have to use the wire mill and actually make up a few of these. It's not too bad. It's a little more expensive than what I'm used to. There we go. We got 8 of them. So that's going to help with the transferring of items. And wow, I didn't know that was a quest either. All right, everybody, we're going to make the timer from Dark Utilities. And I believe this should work. Just get a piece of cobblestone and another stick to get a lever. And that should be all we need. Now, I don't know how fast this actually works. I know my idea worked pretty well, but we're going to have to try and hide this a little bit. You can see it's already pretty much set up. Now, let's see. 20 seconds. So if we go down to 10 ticks, which is every half a second, that should, there we go. Now, I believe we can give this thing a redstone signal, and it stops. All right. That's what I wanted to see. So the next thing I want to do is fill in all this extra stuff, which should not be that hard. We have plenty of material. There we go. And set up this to extract properly. Now, I only want sugarcane to be in here, so we're going to go ahead and put always active. And this one's going to be insert. Now, I believe my key is in my bag or somewhere. Or I just have to make one, because I haven't made one yet. All right. So what we're going to do is come down here and lock this. And this will give us constant access to it. And all we have to do is extract on here and insert on here, and it should be good to go. It should be coming out or not. Or do I need to actually hit this thing with the wrench on top? Yeah, those should have gone in there. I am not seeing anything in there. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Perfect. So now we have a supply of sugarcane and a little bit of this. And over time, this is going to fill up. You look at it, it's already at 2 buckets worth. So that's pretty good. So it's going to be a sustainable source of power. And a little noisy, but it's going to work. That's the main thing. Now, I think I'm going to wrap this up here today, and we're going to hopefully clean this up, and we can add more of these in the future. I think the main thing that's a limiting factor is this basic brewer. So in between episodes, I'll probably just make up a few of these, and we'll call that good. And then we'll have a good source of energy, which we could always take the fuel that we're getting here, and you can see ethanol. Look at ethanol. Look at the uses. We can actually make biodiesel pretty easy. 1,000 ethanol and 6,000 like seeds, but we have to get this tiny pile of that. Or we can go through the sulfuric acid route, which is what they were wanting us to do in the first place. And yeah, that's actually not too bad because it's only 1,000, 1,000. You get 1,000 ethanol and diluted sulfuric, which you can turn around and reuse that and make sulfuric acid. So it's kind of like a looping system. That's a weird sound. You can see we already have a stack in there. We're starting to build up already. So that's good. That means we're going to have a good supply of that, and I don't have to worry about it. No power needed. Just a little bit of actual Minecraft knowledge there. So let's go ahead and wrap it up here today. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, everybody. Take it easy. Later.